I did an unboxing video for the MOZA Slypod E and its remote, and one of the comments asked to see more about the remote, so here's a video about the remote. You can obviously use it to control the Slypod. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4 buttons and a main power on sort of sync button as well. I didn't think it was that intuitive. You can define like an A and a B range and send it off on its way, and you can also adjust the speed with the rotating dial as well. Just like with everything, practice is the mother of perfection, so obviously the more you fiddle with it, the better at it you get. But I didn't think it was as approachable and as usable as the app, which is what I use. So realistically, to keep this video as short as possible, if you're not, if you haven't decided to buy one, then you probably shouldn't. I can think of 2 specific examples of where it's going to be useful, so bear with me. First one is if you're in a studio, then you can give someone this remote rather than using a phone to do it, so they don't have to sync their phone, so you can give them a dedicated remote. Also, if you're up a mountain and you don't want to drain your phone battery in case you need to ring for help, then using this is going to be good for that as well. Then I started to run out of ideas. Obviously, if you've got ideas about why you should buy this, then feel free to make a comment. I'm genuinely open to suggestions about that. When I got mine, I should probably say this now, when I got mine, it was actually free. They retail at £99, but when I came to buy my Slypod E, there was an offer from the company I bought it from that included basically a free remote. So that's how I got it. I didn't actually buy it. Having sort of used it and fiddled with it for a bit, for what I use my Slypod for, it's just not going to be as good as the app. I obviously do sort of flyby and sort of whizzy zoom shots of quite expensive computer parts that don't really like getting bumped into by cameras. So the precision that lacks in the remote is not going to be any good. Whereas with the actual app, you can get some quite precise movement ranges and distances, and also, more importantly, you can put in multiple steps for sort of more creative sliding, whereas this kind of just sets a speed and you can, so this is, it's functional, it does a job, but it's nowhere near as good as the app. So I would tend to go with that. Another thing that I want to mention is that I was wrong when I did the unboxing, because I sort of suggested that the clamp was a bit too wide. That's not actually fair. It can shrink down, and what I didn't realise at the time, but I now know now, is that the top of the screw moves. Even though you've got a really long screw, because it has to be wide enough to go around the Slypod, the top of the screw moves rather cleverly so that it can clamp on quite a lot smaller objects. But the real issue that I had is that when you take the clamp off, it's got 3 screws, which hopefully, if I move that, you can see where the screw holes are. You can see them there like that. And when you poke the screws in, they don't actually poke through. I'll just use that one to poke it through. You can see it doesn't actually poke through very far. So there isn't a great deal to screw in when you come to screw into the back of the actual remote. So as a result of that, when I put this back on, I stripped the screws. So all 3 of these screws are stripped so that this bit doesn't really stay on anymore. I think a fix would be to drill those holes a little bit deeper, because it's quite a thick bit of metal there. So I can probably drill another mil out of there, and that would give me a lot more screw to actually get a bit more purchase on the mounting plates. But that's my only criticism. So if you do take it off and put it back on again and strip the screws, when you then put it back on and clamp it to your tripod, you might find that it's not there when you reach the top of the mounting because it's fallen off. So that was a bit annoying how that happened. But so if you've got any questions about that or any comments, then stick them in the comments. Liking and subscribing is appreciated, and as ever, thanks for watching.